You almost can always make more money selling to an end user. Almost always, which is why we're talking about renovating and doing those sort of things rather than to a builder. Times have changed in the last couple of years. You were welcome. Okay, we're going to talk first about the living areas of the house. I think people, when they walk into property, typically make decisions very quickly about whether or not the house is going to appeal to them or not. So your first areas, the front door, the living areas, the dining room, the kitchen are very, very important rooms of the house to update and have looking good when they first walk in initially. All right, so we're going to Oriental rug, and so wanted to really kind of freshen that up a little and just paint. There really wasn't much done here at all, other than changing the draperies out a little bit and painting that brick, which really oftentimes makes a huge difference. We even took, these were the sofas that were used, just moved back a little bit and moved the furniture over and then changed the rug out to make it a little bit more modern. This is another sort of dark fireplace. You see this a lot, Wisconsin's. It was a little bit cluttered. And again, paint and a different mantle, made all the difference in the world. So these are very, very inexpensive. We try to do things with furnitures. Stagers carry furniture if you want to go that far, but oftentimes a good stager can take from what people have and just move them around a little bit and sort of tell you what makes sense to keep in the house. I always say to people, less is more, that sort of thing. So again, a little paint on the inside, outside of the fireplace, and adding a mantle made a big difference there, and then just a decorative there. And we lightened up the table and added some colored pillows there, which made a difference too. And again, we refinished the floor, and that's really big because it has one drop of yellow in it, but you can see how it sort of sets off a white, even if your trim is very thin. It's a very happy color versus the oyster white that a lot of people use, which is kind of dull. If there's anything I've heard in the last 5 to 10 years, the #1 request I get is a house that's flooded with light, sunny. And so if you don't have, because we have a lot of big trees in Chevy Chase, working with the lighting, brighter colors, lightening up the floor, those kind of things can help a great deal. This was a house also that, typical 1940s colonial. It was an estate. They really didn't want to do anything. So I said, at the very least, let's take up the carpeting and just get rid of the draperies, and even that makes a big difference, as you can see. And that, cost a couple $1,000s. I guarantee it made all the difference in the world. I would have gotten rid of that fireplace screen, but he was convinced that somebody would really want that. When people moved in, it was gone just like that. So, but that's all. Just that you see buyers' reactions on such a regular basis and hear them through open houses that you sort of start to understand what they're looking for. This too was no change of furniture. It was just cluttered. They'd also used it as the children's room with a lot of that furniture that was relocated to other levels. And they had a beautiful window here, but it was very covered with David draperies and that sort of thing. So again, just lightened up this paint. It was sort of a wheat color, changed out the carpeting, moved things away, and added some decorative pillows, but it made it a much happier. Just a typical, now this was very nice wood up here, so they didn't change that, but they kind of buffed up the floors and just got rid of a lot of the clutter, which again makes a big difference. Put the furniture on an angle, clear everything out. This is probably one of the most dramatic changes there are. This was what started out as a porch, an outside fireplace, and someone had enclosed it with inexpensive tiles and these sort of faux beams, and it had the dark photographed wood panel, and turned it into a family room. Amazing. That is paint, flooring, and carpet. And then they added a fixture. So you can see now it becomes an inviting room that somebody wants to spend time in. Because all that was added was the portico and the steps. Because, I'm sorry? Oh, sure. They just painted the front. They painted 3 sides and left the back. The back was sort of a siding thing anyway. This is also paving and paint. You can't see that real pretty stone around the doorway. So if you have someone that has vision that you're working with, you know, with Jody or someone else that says, how can you make this house really pop? Just by adding a little landscaping, the walkway's the same, they just dug some, you know, flower beds along the side. It really can make a big difference. Running a little bit over here, but I'm going to have Jody take over now to show you things that are more extensive in terms of working inside the house and the trends that you're curious about. And then we can stay afterwards if anyone has any other